Welcome to Game Time Live, presented by State Farm. That's Karan Butler and Dennis Scott. I'm Chris Miles. But you know what? I'm just Chris Miles. That's 3D. That's Tough Juice.
Ooh.
The kings of the nickname, right? Like,
oh, no. No, that Tough Juice still, no. Tough Juice, I mean, to earn how he got his name, I mean, obviously shooting, but I've always said, the first time we met, I've always said, that's one of the sweetest names. That's like football, baseball, and all the sports, the name Tough Juice. Ugh. So I give it to him.
I had 3D on all my shoes, too, when I was with the Wizards. For 5.5 seasons, 3D rocking.
That's
you know what I mean? Just representing, dog.
Because your nickname now defines how to play the game, its own position.
Unbelievable.
3ND, they call it that, right? Well, you know, AD, that's a good nickname, or the Brow, maybe not so much, but the Pelicans playing without him right now, trying to tread water against the San Antonio Spurs. LaMarcus Aldridge was questionable for this one, but he gave it a go, and by giving it a go, getting buckets.
Yeah, if you let him get to that left shoulder to the middle of the paint, baby hook every time. Oh, wait a minute, is that
is Jahlil Okafor, correct. 11 points in the first quarter. And at the end of the first quarter, Drew Holiday.
Oh, he can do that.
So the Pelicans down by 1. Second quarter belonged to LaMarcus Aldridge.
All-star.
Say it again.
All-star.
I agree. Ooh.
Making it look easy there. Spurs take a 9-point lead, but they're ahead by 3 at the half. And if you're looking at that box score, and it's the resurrection of Jahlil Okafor. 15-9 so far for him. DeMar DeRozan sitting this one out for the Spurs as well.
Very happy, Tough Juice, that Okafor is ready when the opportunity knocks on the door, obviously. We don't want to never see AD get hurt. We know that's been a part of his career so far. But turning 23 this past December lets me know that he still loves the game. He's been working on his body. His body looks great for not playing a whole lot of minutes. So I'm not giving up on Jahlil Okafor. I think he still has something in the tank. Yes, things haven't been great for him the last couple of years, but I say it again, just turning 23 just past December, I think you still believe in him.
That's a key. That someone being 23 years old, and to think that around the platform of the association, people have already given in and given up on this kid. I feel like he has a wealth of talent, a talent that has no ceilings, and the game don't really, compliment some of the things that he can do, but he's still a guy that if you put him 17 on in, he goes to work. He can dissect you, and now he's stretching out and capable of doing some things on the perimeter.
Certainly, second overall pick in the draft. So he is a guy that still has a ton of potential, ton of upside, someone who's always banked in on that upside. According to multiple reports, LeBron James will miss his 16th game on Sunday. That's against the Phoenix Suns. Today, however, LeBron did participate in his first contact drills since Christmas when he injured his groin. Karan, you're in L.A., amongst other places. What have you observed about LeBron's recovery and where he's at right now?
Well, you're not rushing the process. And, with LeBron, you want to be for sure and for certain when you put him back out there on that platform, because you don't want a situation where you have an injury that's lingering. And, when I've seen him, the visuals that I have been able to see, he's still moving gingerly. He's not looking like the LeBron that we know to be pretty much indestructible and able to just go out there and rely on his athleticism along with his high basketball IQ and his skill set. So I still feel like it's going to be some time, hopefully before All-Star break, though.
I think, to your point, Tough Juice, LeBron is dissecting the last, 30, 35 games left, making sure that the Lakers don't fall too far behind the Clippers. And I say San Antonio now, Utah's finally playing like they were last year when they finished up, and now they're in the 6th spot. So the question I'm saying is LeBron's saying, there's no way I can beat Golden State by myself. Now they got Boogie. But is Denver ready to win a series against me and a young team that I'm going to put on my shoulders like I've done the last 8 years, getting to the finals? Or does I maybe sneak back in there at 6 and maybe go against OKC? LeBron thinks this all the way through. And to your point, he's going to be 1,000% ready when he comes back. So if he's sitting there tough, you think about it for a second. He's only one game out of the 8th spot and he's already missed. It's the 16th game he's missing.
This is LeBron James. I'm talking about he's going to come back well rested, preserved his body physically, And then you got to give like a good diet of games for Rondo. Rondo just came back first game. So look, can Rondo take you, play 500 basketball or above for 4 games? Let's see what that looked like first before you press the panic button and say, all right, I got to insert myself back out there.
Also, we have to mention Lonzo Ball out of the lineup for the Lakers as well. So they're dealing with a plethora of injuries. Brooklyn Nets guard Spencer Dinwiddie out the next 3 to 6 weeks. He's having thumb surgery. Last month, he and the Nets agreed to a 3-year, $34 million extension. That was in early December. Since December 7th, the Nets are 19-5. Clearly, Spencer Dinwiddie, a good fit in Brooklyn. Karan, you were on top of this when it happened. So how big of a setback is it for the Nets to lose Spencer Dinwiddie and then for him and what he's accomplishing right now in his career?
Look, he's playing excellent basketball, and I felt like he was the guy that was on verge of becoming an all-star this season. When you look at the Nets right now, they're standing somewhere between 6 and 7 in the Eastern Conference. D'Angelo Russell's 19, 6 and 4, playing amazing. But I feel like the foundation started with Spencer. D'Angelo Russell missed some time last season, and I felt like they started their winning ways and their momentum with his play. Now, fast forward to that, I think that you don't miss so much time because the All-Star break. That's a ton of time for guys. That's a week, probably a week to 10 days where, that's recovery time for him with having the surgery. 2 torn ligaments in the right hand, get him back out there, he'd be ready to go.
It's a fun thing for me with this team because Kenny Atkinson's done a good job molding both of those guys. Because so many people had given up on D'Angelo, and now he's playing great. Then early in the season, before Dinwiddie got hurt, every fourth quarter, Dinwiddie was making all the plays to get these victories. So I've gone back and forth on which guy to go with, but one of them needs to make it.
Audience of one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's tough, yeah.
Well, the 76ers, they'll face the Nuggets tonight at 9 without Jimmy Butler. He's having his sprained wrist examined by a specialist. Butler has missed the last 2 games, both 76ers wins against the Spurs and the Rockets. 3D, are you learning anything about this Philadelphia team without Butler in the lineup recently?
Well, they're just basically trying to figure it out because, they've never been this far now with this new group, so to speak, because they gave up so much to get Jimmy. So now I look at Embiid and Ben trying to do more. I think J.J. Redick has shot the blood out the basketball the last few games, kind of try to hold down the fort, so to speak. But I think they need more off that bench if they want to go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, they do need more off that bench. And, missing Jimmy Butler, that's a huge acquisition and someone that, you can't just one person fill that void. But collectively, and together they have to find the manpower in order to put a Band-Aid on that situation until he comes back.
When you look at Philadelphia and where they are now, they made the playoffs last year and you're like, oh, they made a leap. But now they're 12-4 against Western Conference teams. That's the best of any team in the East. What does that tell you about their development and where they are right now? Because if you just take a look at the Eastern Conference standings, you're like, okay, 4th place, looking like they're going to catch Indiana. But when you see that, how they're performing against the West, I mean, that's pretty eyebrow-raising.
It's eyebrow-raising because a young team has found their focus on the road and they have their priorities in order. Where most young teams go on the road, if you're going to LA, if you're going to Phoenix, you might be playing golf, or if you're going to all these different places, you might be thinking about something else. So that is very impressive.
And that something else is undefeated.
There you go.
Just put that out there. Look, everybody quiet.
Yep. Well, Damian Lillard will not play tonight against the Atlanta Hawks to get some rest. It's the first game this season he's sitting out. By taking the night off, Lillard gets 6 days of rest in the midst of a long season. Again, how beneficial is it to get off to a great start where you can afford to rest a guy like Damian Lillard so he can get almost a full week to get his body right?
Hey, it's excellent because you're able to preserve some of your better players. And this is crazy. 3D, like, I'm tripping off this. The Atlanta Hawks, like, this, I took it personal when guys took nights off, when they came in my city, and that's a West Coast team, so you only see them once, right?
That's right.
So if you're coming in our city, you're not going to play. That's a slap in the face to us in the organization. So, we wanted to go out there and be the best possible version of ourselves. Even when we wasn't a playoff contention team, you wanted to go out there. But to have the luxury to do that is because you got a guy like C.J. McCollum.
Having a guy like C.J. Nurkic just played better, but in our new NBA, you always will make sure your stars are ready for that push after the All-Star break. But you're also playing with what I call the schedule guys, because I understand Portland's schedule, the last 5 games that's come off a road trip been tough. But you're in the fourth spot right now with 20 losses. Houston has 20 losses. We know how James Harden's playing. And then now Utah's starting to find their stride. They only have 22 losses. So it's like now you're putting more pressure on everyone else to step up, knowing that you don't want to lose a game or two with your best guy. Well, we see in Toronto, they may have been the best this year. No Kawhi Leonard, so what? We just go win. No Kyle Lowry, so what? We continue to go win. That's what we have to watch tonight with the Portland Trailblazers.
Certainly the Trailblazers are in that happy place as a team.
Yes.
10 games over 500.
Yes.
You know, you would think the same for the Milwaukee Bucks as they are first in the East. Not so much for everyone. According to multiple sources, Thon Maker is requesting a trade out of Milwaukee.
How'd that get out?
You know, he's a first-round pick.
No. How? You remember, we talked about this last time we worked together. The reason we love what Kyrie did because it came out the right way. Now, did he go tell, Wojo, did he tell the writers? Like, how did that stuff get out? Did he call his agent? Did he go to management the right way and say, look, I know I'm not playing. I know I'm not part of rotation. I'd like to move on somewhere else. Now, if it happened that way, Tough Juice, I don't have a problem.
This is why it looks bad, and I'll tell you why. It's because the team is performing so well. And it's almost like, what are you really about? Are you about yourself or are you about winning? And I felt like this is something that should have been structured different, as 3D just touched on. It has to come out, organically in a different type of way. It hasn't, like, it's not a good look at all. Like, and somebody need to do something about it.
Well, and if you just look at the Milwaukee Bucks as a team and think, okay, a stretch five, they have Brook Lopez there now, but Thon Maker's only 21 years old, right? This is just his third year in the league. And you think, okay, in the future, maybe this guy can be a shot-blocking stretch five for this team going forward. Shouldn't that be his mentality?
Yeah, it should. And I think right now he should be developing because you have a guy like Lopez that's able to knock down shots and do all these things. And then you look at what you can bring to the team, how you can be an asset. Look, defensively, he's amazing. Excellent length, get up and down the court. He kind of fits everything they need him to do. But there's times where his strength isn't there and other things and his skill set and probably a little bit of conditioning. Why? Because he's not playing so much. So those are the things you need to try to enhance to get your time on the court.
All right, Coach, I'm good. No, what I said earlier is that in our new NBA, it's all about the approach on how you about your business. You're either going to go show it in practice every day and outplay someone and earn those minutes, and coaches say, hey, let me find 8 minutes here, 12 minutes there, and now you're getting some more minutes. But other than that, as you look at the roster, Ilyasova, sometimes they go small, he's playing the five. So
shot maker.
So it's like until you fit in, like Brook Lopez, the reason he's playing more minutes because they're shooting more threes. And to your point, until you prove to the coaching staff that you can make those threes consistently, you're not going to be a part of the rotation.
So Thon Maker only playing 10 minutes a night since the start of January, so we'll see how that continues to develop. Victor Oladipo out for the season with a torn quad. This afternoon, he opened up about his injury on Instagram saying, quote, "It's going to be tough, but tough times don't last. Tough people do. It's time for me to truly practice what I preach and trust my God in heaven and the plan he has for me. I'll be back better than ever, and if you question that, well, thank you. Greater is he than is in me than is he that is in the world. I am #unbreakable." That's the end of the quote. Quan, as a guy who was an all-star as you were, and when you were in Dallas, you guys go to play in the championship, but you're out with an injury in that time period. How difficult is that situation, just psychologically, mentally, just to go through?
It's extremely tough because you want to be out there and you're one of the guys, like you're one of the leaders. And you put so much sweat equity in it, from training camp and getting this team molded to your liking, and now you're ready to lead, and all of a sudden it happens, and now you have to find a way to, one, get healthy, and two, be some type of inspiration for the guys while they're still trying to stay focused and move forward also. So I feel like he has a wealth of knowledge. And everything that he said when he's talking about, God, the higher power, our God, and believing in that. And I think his leadership will show so much value as they see him, being unbreakable, trying to get back out there on that platform.
The unbreakable part for me, knowing him being from the DMV, that two teams gave up on him. Orlando tried to change him. OKC said, we're going to give him this money, but we're going to use him as trade base. People forget about that, and that's part of the unbreakable he's talking about because he never gave up in himself. Then he finally gets to Indiana, and Nate McMillan puts him, says, no, you're not a 1, you're not a 2, you're a basketball player. Yeah. Then he makes an all-star team. He plays great basketball last year, and unfortunately gets hurt. That's the unbreakable, believing in his true faith. So been knowing him for a long time. Just unfortunate. I know you're going to come back great. You're one of those kind of guys. Just unfortunate situation.
Was an all-star again this year, too.
Yep. Was all-star
hands
again
down.
this year. Hands down, yep.
Certainly, and he also made his first All-NBA team last year as well. Yep. So, Victor Oladipo, get well. We're rooting for you. The All-Star starters have been announced, but who do we expect to represent from the bench in each conference? Well, Shaq never coming off the bench. You know, he's a starter always and forever. That's next. You're watching Game Time Live, presented by State Farm.